tuning in to D4 Sports, Day Drinking with Don and Dustin. I'm Don.
And I'm Dustin, and we're bringing you sports talk from around the world and drinking tips to make every game a winner.
We appreciate you checking out our podcast. So now,
live from Lubbock, Texas,
and London, England,
this is D4.
Welcome, everyone, to D4 Sports Day Drinking with Don and Dustin on this beautiful 14th of June. I am Don. You can call me Nick, as everyone else does. And the suddenly spectacleless one is Dustin. Well, what happened there? You decided no glasses today, huh?
For that moment, yeah. I just feel like the glare was worse today than it has been. Maybe I just.
Well, let's face it. We both have a couple of different things that prefer a little bit of glare out there.
That's right. That's right. Blinded by the light.
Yeah. So, how are you this fine Sunday, June the 14th?
I am here, just like always.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Still,
sounds good.
I say it's still early. It's not early, but it's early enough.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's almost 8:30 your time. I mean, you probably put in a good 3-4 hours at the Undertaker office already today?
No.
All right.
Not at all. Unless there's something going on that needs it, but hopefully not this early.
Yeah. No. Fair enough. Well, how is Lubbock? We are now almost to the summer solstice, almost to the longest day of the year. How is Lubbock doing this fine summer day?
I don't know. It's still early. I haven't been outside. I mean, it's a little overcast, but
I meant more in general, but you know what I'm saying.
It's been warm for sure. Just Lubbock. I call it a hairdryer because it's not humid.
Mm-hmm.
It's windy. So it's a dry, windy heat. And it just feels like, and with this hairdo and luscious locks, I know that I do need a hairdryer. So it's actually beneficial.
There you go. Nice. Well, we finally have gotten to British summer here. After getting back from the States a couple weeks ago, the weather was just cold. There was a big heat wave when we were gone. We get back, it's hot for a few days, and then it was cold and gray and rainy for 10 days, and it is finally broken. And it is finally, we have a forecast this week that is classic British summer. It's right around 23, right? So you know what that is, of course. Low 70s, sunny, long days, light breeze, frankly, just about perfect weather. So, and we are definitely having the long British days where the sun is, the sky is brightening just before 4 a.m. and is not darkening until about 10:15. So which I got to say, it really does screw with you a little bit. Cause it just feels wrong to eat dinner before about 8 or 9 o'clock. Cause it doesn't even feel like evening. It doesn't even feel like twilight, in almost any city I lived in America, even in the summertime, 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock, you just get the different feel to the evening sky, right? It starts to feel like it's kind of that golden hour, kind of it's getting darker. That doesn't happen here until like after 9. I mean, I sent you that picture from the pub last year. I was thinking about doing it again, where I was sitting outside at 9 o'clock at night, drinking a pint, and I sent you the picture, and it looks like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it felt like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's where we are again. So it's wild. It's just wild, but yeah.
Well, it looks like it's getting hot there because you have your AC turned on. I see. Got
my AC unit.
Got
yes.
the fan going. So.
Well, no, mainly I just shut all the windows so that I don't get any street noise. Because if I had the windows open, you'd hear sirens going past and things like that. So it just is a little warm in my flat, but it's not hot here at all. I think my temperature right now is 67 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, we're not sweating it out over here. That's for sure. But yeah. So anyway, British summer full swing. And with it becomes the standard British summer activities. Number one of which, of course, is just long days at the pub. But you get
I was
many more
thinking
people.
like drinking. That's
Well, yes. We had a friend of mine. And this is actually a funny story. So a young woman I work with, she was one of the grads or early in careers, named Alex. Really nice young lady. I think she's 24, 25 years old. She'd done her 2 years of Verizon, hadn't found a full-time job, so she went and found another position. So she's leaving. And I was talking to her. I was in the office last week, and I saw her, and she told me she was leaving. I was like, oh, that's sad. And I look on her computer, and she's like shopping, because, of course, we're at work, right? And and she's looking at fascinators. You know what fascinators are?
Mm-mm.
You know the little hats that women wear at horse racing, right? The fancy little
Yes.
Those are called fascinators. Anyway, she's looking online at a store called Hobbs, which is where my wife happens to work, and I'm like, my wife gets a 70% discount. Do you want me to get that for you? She's like, oh, that'd be great. She didn't really think I would, but we did. Karen had it in the store, brought it back, gave it to her. Anyway, gave it to her on the occasion of her leaving drinks, and I'd heard several people who have left the company, and they're like, oh, we're going to do a leaving drinks. And I just kind of thought that was just sort of a colloquial. That's actually a term. That's actually what they call it here in the UK. It's not a farewell party. It's not a going away party. It's not it's literally called leaving drinks. We don't even, there's no like cake, there's no, it's not a barbecue. It's not a potluck. It's not pastries. We go to the pub. And anyway,
I am just happy that after 52, is that how old you are? 53?
We'll give it that, 54, but
somewhere.
Yeah.
That after that many years of life that you have finally found your people.
I'm not sure they're my people. I was hanging out at the pub. Literally almost everyone sitting around the table at the pub were younger than all of my children. So not all of them. There were a few that are a little bit older, but but
the activities are right up your alley.
Well, I mean, I'm good with leaving drinks. I'm good with staying.
As I've learned, it's right up your what do y'all call it? Piss alley. That's what it's called,
yes,
right?
That's right. Yes. Getting pissed in piss alley. Yes. I was talking to somebody about this, about how the word piss has so many interesting uses in the UK. If it's raining hard, it's pissing down rain, right? You get pissed. And like everyone says that. Again, those are not words that just, because like that's a word my wife she just didn't like. It's just and it is kind of an ugly word, but yeah. But no, it's
all the words that I heard while in London. Ugly words. I don't know if,
no,
if I would put that.
That's easy. That's tame.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so we had leaving drinks this week. But I was going to say, one of the other activities I saw, because more and more people go to the park, and I was at the park hanging out, doing my thing, smoking on the bench, smoking a cigar, watching people exercise. And these guys, there were 4 guys, and they're boxing. And I mean boxing. I mean, no headgear, and they weren't pulling punches, and they're drilling each other in the face, and I'm like, one of these guys is gonna. I'm serious. This one guy landed this right cross to this other guy's head, and he totally staggered. And I'm like, "You're literally gonna knock this guy unconscious." And they kept going. I was like, "Surely the other guys standing around are gonna like." I mean, I was ready to throw in the towel from sitting on the bench, but I can't say I've ever seen many people just like boxing in the park. That was a new one for me.
That doesn't seem like something you would go, "Hey, let's go play pickup basketball." Or let's go do pickup boxing. Me and you.
Let's go box.
No headgear. Let's go.
Yeah. That was the thing to me. I was like, I've seen guys box for exercise, right? Whatever. They'll be out and just hitting the gloves or something. Or even if you're sparring, right. But usually for sparring, right. I don't think you tend to go to the face that much. But these guys just driving into the body shots, and then, man, it was a lot.
Maybe they just had an issue with each other and it was a gentleman's fight.
No, because they went another 30 seconds after that, and then they took the gloves off, and hey, all right, man, good job. And they switched gloves with the other 2 guys, and they started going at it. So I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it was a thing. But anyway, that's why I prefer the pub, because no one hits you in the face at the pub. And with that, we'll transition to drinks of the day. And I'm going to do it. I mentioned it on the last show where I had my other drink from Spain. And I'm still not sure, but here's what it is. Okay. Now, the reason I got it was because the company that makes it is called Antonio Nadal. And I thought to myself, that's Uncle Tony. Tony Nadal. That's Rafael's father, right? And this is Spain. And it comes from Mallorca, which is like, but it turns out that's just a common name. So it's not actually him. But here's what it is. Did I show this last time? I don't know if I did.
It looks like olive oil.
Green absinthe. And they had them in like red and bright blue and green and yellow. But see that number on there?
Yeah.
It's 80% alcohol.
Yeah, that's a high number.
No, that's a high number. I was telling Karen, I'm like, I don't even know what to do with this. I do not know what to do with this. She said, I just shoot it. So I'm going to not shoot it. Oh, it doesn't. So I have a gin and tonic. So I made a gin and tonic right here. Nice, simple drink. Also green. So I figured I'm going to give a little bit of the absinthe into the gin and tonic.
Just take a small swig. Don't shoot it. Just a small.
I'm genuinely afraid. 80%. I don't think I've ever had anything 80% alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol.
Black licorice flavored rubbing alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet mother of pearl. That. All right, I'm gonna put some in here. I'm doing it for the show.
Finally, we get the face that I usually make.
Holy smokes, Dustin!
Yep.
If I find any more of this, I'll buy it and smuggle it into America. It's probably not legal in the States. It's so strong, but oh baby,
I don't know. There's some pretty strong stuff here too.
I think I ruined my gin and tonic, but there it is.
Doing it for the
Antonio Nadal, green absinthe 80. Drink of the day.
Doing it for all three people that listen. Good job.
All right, that's what I've got. And water, thankfully. What do you got?
I'm very underwhelming today.
Oh.
Because you took it. I'll let you take it. This is straight coffee.
Straight coffee.
It's called Holler Mountain. It's creamy caramel.
I'm not a flavored coffee guy.
No, it's got the hints of it. It's not a
hints.
Full on.
Hints and allegations, my friend.
So,
all right. So
real quick, I've got the TV on and I have it on ESPN News, which is basically the Ocho. And right before coming on, I saw that it was a forehand strike. And I had no clue what that was. So initially, have you seen like the slap competitions?
Yes, the slap fighting.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. So I thought it was very similar to that. But it's not.
Oh.
It's tennis, pickleball without any equipment. It is literally forehand strike with your hand and a ball on a pickleball court.
Okay.
And you play that way.
Oh, but there's a net, right?
There's a net. Yeah, no, it's a pickleball court.
What are we doing?
You're using your hand.
That's literally what you did when you were 8 years old. When you stand outside and you have nobody to play with and you go up against your garage and you're whacking the ball with your hand, making up some sort of scoring system. What are we even doing?
Well, I've mentioned before the sport where I don't know how it's a sport, but they had it on ESPN where they're in somebody's neighborhood and they're throwing a football on the roof and they've got to catch it.
Oh, yeah, when it rolls off
because it's coming off the roof.
Right,
yeah.
Roof ball. Yeah.
Yeah. What in the world?
Yeah.
That show is over. So now they've got a beard growing competition. how you watch beard growing, I don't know. But it had up there how to grow a fuller beard. And it said, eat well, exercise, get good sleep, take vitamins. And I'm just thinking,
that's like, that's just like a doctor's appointment.
That's life. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, right? That's not what any of us do.
No, no one does.
But how do you, get those as the bullet points of a healthier beard growth?
Yeah, that was somebody who's like, man, we got a segment in 5 minutes. What are we going to do? How to grow a beard. Yeah.
Chat GPT.
Yeah. Well, I also had a new sports alert that I saw. And I'm trying, and it looked like a combination of cricket, because they had like flat cricket bats and racquetball. So they're in a court, but it's a really tall wall, and they're whacking this hard ball with a cricket ball, and they're playing it like racquetball. Now, I believe it's called Pala, P-A-L-A. And I was looking, and it's some variation of padel. And you know what padel is? Have you seen padel?
I've probably seen it. I don't.
Padel is like actually athletic pickleball. It's played with rackets, very similar to handball, to racquetball, but it's played inside, a court off, and you can play it off all the walls and stuff. And it's a very athletic game. It's, like a serious thing. And it's big in Spain and a few other places, and Brazil, I think, and whatever else. But anyway, so this was the Pala. Basically looked like, cricket, racquetball, and I believe it is some variation of padel or some recognized version of some. Living over here in England, you learn new sports. They play what they call bat and ball, which is sort of like screen ball. Like, we used to play baseball because they have just two guys and you're out playing wiffle ball or something, and you don't actually run the bases, although they kind of run the bases. That's sort of like stick ball kind of thing. But they have shinty over here. They have hurling, and these things. These are all regional. Oh, you got all the Celtic games. Every country has their own sports and stuff. But when you just get down to playing pickleball with your hand, like, what's that? Why not use a paddle? Like, what? I don't even get it. That's weird. Some games are just like, again, they're just like the stuff you just made up as a kid when you were bored outside. And now we've got like national Oh, I got another one. And this was the UEC Cycling World Championships. Now, this is like, it's hard to put into words. It's basically like, and this was doubles competition, a man and a woman. It's a little bit like ice skating, but on bicycles, right? So picture two people riding bikes. They're riding wheelies around backwards and synchronized, and they stand up on the handlebars, and they're doing this. And then he goes and picks her off the bike, and he's pedaling and holding her up, and it's all set to this very dramatic classical music. And I'm just like, look, I don't doubt that it's ridiculously hard. I just like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this? Like, what?
Yeah.
Who thought to themselves, what we really need is figure skating on bicycles? But here we are.
That's somebody that wasn't good at either, but thought they were good enough at both.
Yeah.
To do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's there's some interesting things out there for sure.
There's a lot of stuff. And thanks to the internet. Of course, I wonder if it's all AI anyway now. I see some of this stuff and I'm like, I wonder if this is even real. It probably is. Hey, look, they're like the hobby horse thing is actually real.
Oh, I know.
And if you're literally getting people in a stadium watching people run around with a wooden stick and jump over, anything. We're doing anything these days.
Yep. I've got one more. Speaking of interesting, and
okay,
this is going to fall into the Hall of Names for us.
Okay, all right. It's been a while since we've had a good D4 name.
A 19-year-old soccer player, footballer, from Austria, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Jakob Vonker.
How's that spelled?
And in America, we say Jacob Wanker. So his last name is Wanker.
Yeah.
Wanker.
I guarantee he doesn't play in the Premier League.
Oh, I hope
or the
so.
Championship League.
I hope so. I mean, he's 19, so you never know. But
Oi,
you get that
Wanker.
You get that last name on the back of a jersey.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. That's good. I have one other, and this isn't really. I had this note not necessarily for a name, although it kind of fits that, but for an actual sporting achievement. Do you know the name Jacoby Tharp?
I don't.
Did you hear Jacoby Tharp in the preliminary round of the NCAA championships 110-meter hurdles set a world record? NCAA championships preliminary rounds, 12.75 seconds, which of course was the NCAA record, but literally a world record for Auburn. And I mean, if you watch him run, and it is, I mean, I've seen enough hurdles, so no, you can tell the people who are timed up and stuff. It literally is a flawless run. I mean, he takes his 5 steps, hurdles, 1, 2, 3, 5, boom, 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 boom. It almost looks like the video's looping. It's so perfect each time, and then he crosses the line, and sure enough, world record. So
you said Tharp?
Tharp.
Okay.
Jacoby, J-A-Kobe, Tharp, T-H-A-R-P, Jacoby Tharp. There you go.
There you go.
And look, listeners, I don't know how many of you saw that or heard that, but that's what you get on D4 Sports. You get Paula. You get figure cycling.
Forehand
You
strike.
get wankers. You get a lot of that, bro.
So I did mention that you finally found your people. This beard growing competition is your people too, man. One's right up.
Yeah.
The full on ZZ top.
Oh yeah. Nah, I would never do this. This is more than I've ever. I mean, I trimmed it a bit. It was a little longer, but this is as much as I've ever had, and I'm not doing much more than this. But yeah. Now John Woodard at one time had the full hillbilly beard, and now he actually sports the full handlebar, which
Raleigh
is really
fingers?
quite. Yeah, he's got the legit full handlebar, and it's really cool actually. So I'm not going to go to the handlebar, but I do have the one picture of me when the only other time in my life when I had a goatee. So I just had it here and down here, and when I was shaving it off, and I took off this part, so I just had the convict, and I have a picture. I took a picture of myself. I sent it to my wife, and I said, "What do you think?" And she's like, "Absolutely not." So
I remember years and years ago when I first grew a beard, I went to St. Louis, and Claire was the only one at the house, and I was just getting ready for the day, and I shaved everything but a mustache. She probably doesn't remember this at all because she was young.
I don't know. Yeah.
And I just had the mustache, and I walked out, and she was like, "No."
I'm warned about people like you.
Yeah. I mean, she was younger, but I don't know where Allie was or whatever. I just remember Claire no.
Yeah. Well, all right. And with that, there's a whole myriad of opening shots there. I don't even know. We didn't even technically introduce the opening shot segment, but it just rolled. That's what happens. You start drinking 80% alcohol, stuff happens. And with that, welcome back to D4 Sports. Welcome back to D4 Sports, and I realized, Dustin, I said this a minute ago, that I didn't even introduce the episode number. This is 95 on the 14th of June, and you, sir, are sitting enthralled in a beard growing contest.
Oh, yeah. It is in a storage unit. It's a large storage unit.
Why am I not surprised? That's fantastic.
Wow.
Brought
They
to
threw
you by
that together
Rena
the day
Center.
before. That's impressive. Not the beards. The beards took a while, but but the shop that they're working out of.
Yeah.
Oof, man.
All right. Well, well, here we are, D4 business, and of course, we don't really have much D4 business right now. There's no contest, no competition, nothing.
Obviously, we've got beard growing.
Well, okay, right, yeah, we have that, but I mean, nothing for the D4 community to participate in, unless, of course, they want to do that. I suppose
we can start a beard growing competition.
No, we shouldn't.
We would just have to keep the podcast going for a while.
Yes, we would. And I mean, let's face it. From all the people I know, I mean, John Woodard wins that hands down. It's not even close. It's not even close. I'm not in. Anyway, I want to ask you what it's like to live at the center of the sports world. Because Lubbock, Texas, and Texas Tech University have been at the very epicenter of one of the most important dealings in sports for the last couple of weeks. And I am here for it. And I'm here for your take.
I must be living under a rock. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, sure you are. Are you team Sorsby or are you team Big 12?
There's so many layers to unlock here.
So briefly,
this is an onion.
Summarize the story for our listeners. Summarize the story for our listeners.
So Tech has, well, we'll put it in terms of college sports. Tech has paid for a quarterback to come from Cincinnati to Lubbock to play at Tech. His name is Brendan Sorsby. $4 million in NIL money to Sorsby. Sorsby, while at Indiana and a freshman, had placed bets, which part of the NCAA rules are you cannot sports bet while being a player or an athlete.
Yeah, well, or any professional sport athlete. Yeah, right, yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying through the NCAA,
right,
what he was under.
Yeah.
And some of those bets were made with the team he was on. Granted, he wasn't playing, but still, that's a no-no.
So yeah, he placed bets on his own team.
Yes.
While an active member of the team. Yeah, that you can't do.
Right.
Yeah.
So the NCAA says, they find out that these bets were made, and they say you're not going to be playing the 2026-27 season.
Right. Now, just to be clear, this all happened before he came to Texas Tech, like 3-4 years ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The bets. Yes.
There's no claim that he was doing this last year, for instance, while he was actually playing for Tech and that sort of thing. Just want to set the scene.
Well, so he apparently stopped making bets a few weeks before he moved from the third string to the backup position while at Indiana.
So when he had an actual shot to get on the field, fair enough. Man of integrity.
Doesn't make it any better. Everybody looks at that and says, whatever.
Yeah.
So the NCAA says you're not playing this year. Well, Sorsby goes and gets an attorney that apparently is really good at this kind of thing. And a judge rules, was an injunction, and says he can play this season. Yeah. All it really does is it puts the ruling and everything, it just pushes it back to where they go to court after the football season. Yeah, no, and I just the beauty of the legal system that rather than fast tracking the case, right, which you can do, and move it, they can absolutely do this. There's no, I mean, it's June, right? They've got 2 full months until any college athletics get going. They could very easily get this case heard, right? They set a court date for February the 8th, 2027, 2 weeks after the college football national championship is to be played in Vegas, mind you. Irony. So, so he's eligible, right? Because until that hearing, he's eligible. So then the Big 12 is like, do we kick Texas Tech out if they play him? There are some colleges that we're not going to schedule you. It's a lot to unpack. And Tech's, standing behind their man. They're saying, Do we kick a 22-year-old to the curb because of some mistakes he made when he was 18 years old? There's a lot.
Yeah, it's really quite fascinating because you have these colleges who were, originally, like Georgia came out and said we will never play them again if he sees the field, and Nebraska said the same, and then all the Big 12 got together and we're like,
State said it, and then the Big 12 comes together and has a athletic director secret meeting.
Right. Well, Kansas State and another school in the Big 12 said we may not play the game scheduled this year if you put him on the field. Right. And so then the entire Big 12 gets together with all the athletic directors, and there's some rule. We don't need to get into the actual specific rule in the bylaws that say, conduct detrimental to the sport, a school can be sanctioned and blah, blah, blah. At which point the Attorney General of Texas,
Ken Paxton,
Attorney
General,
everybody's favorite guy, comes up and says to the Big 12, you'll be in violation of a court order, and there will be substantial penalties, likely exceeding $200 million if you follow through with this. So now you got the Attorney General saying, look, Big 12, if you do this, so this thing is erupted, right? This is far beyond any sort of, one guy and his ruling on his eligibility. This is schools. And I shared this with you. I don't want to read this because there was an article that was written by, supposedly, I still got to believe this had to be AI generated, but somebody actually put this online. The outrage among coaches, athletic directors, and presidents is practically universal. And this is the sentence. Integrity is paramount to college athletics. And if Texas Tech and the Big 12 turn a blind eye to moral obligation, you can bet seismic changes are blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Integrity is paramount to college athletics. How do you respond to that simple sentence?
Integrity is not the word I would use for college sports. It's a business. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a massive thing. I mean, you have got, I think colleges have people on their payroll that try to figure out loopholes and
100% they do.
Yeah. How to figure out, what was it? It was either BYU or Utah. It was a school like that started like wanting to sell shares of the team and to create NIL money to funnel that through, and it being legal.
Yeah.
And around the NCAA ruling of what, this is ridiculous. I mean, it is becoming, but the NCAA, let's be honest, the NCAA is falling apart.
It is.
I foresee in the next, I'll say less than 10 years, that the NCAA won't be around.
If it is, it won't look anything like it does now.
No.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Or it could be you have the NCAA, but college football is going to be its own entity.
Yeah.
So you may still have some of these other sports programs or whatever that are under like an NCAA umbrella.
Yeah.
But football, since that's what we're talking about, is going to be its own beast. And it's crazy.
Well, and I sit here and I'm like, my thoughts on this were just like, all of these athletic directors are saying all these things because they have to protect the game against gambling. Oh, hello, every game sponsored by DraftKings, right? But you just simply can't allow active players to gamble, because then you're just literally opening yourself up to the likelihood of throwing games, right? Point shaving, of taking dives, how you want to. And now you really don't. Now you're in the WWE territory where it's not sports, it's entertainment, and so that it's not an honest competition to see who actually wins. It's now the outcome is rigged, right? And you're getting into a whole different thing if they start allowing. So they can't allow that. And every athletic director is just praying that they don't have someone in their school that gets outed, right? And gets discovered. That's what this is. And I was just like, but this whole moral outrage thing is just baffling to me, right? It's like, again, all of a sudden we now care about, I mean, how many arrests have happened of college football players for domestic violence, for driving under the influence, for assault, for anything you can name. It's all been there, right? And everybody's like, that's bad. And we just sweep it under the rug and we keep going. But this one, and I finally found an article. There was an article by Dan Wetzel on ESPN who wrote that. It's not terribly long, but it's long enough that I'm not going to read the whole thing. But he starts off by saying the most absurd, ridiculous, and laughable development in college athletics should have been Judge Ken Curry granting a temporary restraining order or temporary restriction to Sorsby, right? He says, obviously because this is one of the most important violations of sports, et cetera. He said, but then comes a new contender, an avalanche of rants and threats and hypocritical posturing by university presidents, athletic directors. And he goes on to detail some of the stuff we just said. And then he comes along, and this is what he says. Look, you can find Curry's decision to be absurd and damaging and still roll your eyes at all of these hot takes. He said, does everyone know this is college athletics? Doing the right thing hasn't been a thing in decades, if ever. And he says scandals, crimes, cover-ups, no-show classes, Ponzi schemes, sexual assaults, lawsuits, child abuse, G League players, immoral coaches, and so on and so on. And college sports has seen everything, almost all of it excused, defended, or even concealed by nearly every school in America, right? And then he goes on to, and so I really appreciate that finally somebody stood up and said, and he goes on, in college athletics, everything is about winning, or more specifically, everything is about the money that winning brings. It's a feature, not a bug. It's actually part of the fun. And he's like, there is no moral authority here. And he goes on. And I'm glad to see that finally somebody stepped up and said it. Like, yeah, Sorsby shouldn't have been gambling. Should he be ineligible? Probably. It was 3 years ago. There's no evidence that he broke the rule. Unless you're going to ban him for life, it's one of these things. It's like, it's not impacting even the school he's actually playing at. And any other school like Texas Tech, who had signed him, and he was a sought-after recruit. If it were Georgia, if it were Notre Dame, if it were everybody else would be saying the same thing. Hey, number one, we didn't know. Number two, it's not happening here. And number three, the court said we're good. So what do you think, Dustin? Should Tech play him? Should they not play him? What do you think on this? I mean, you're in Lubbock. Obviously, this matters. This is your guy. This is your starting quarterback, right? So
right. I mean, my opinion doesn't matter, but I think at the end of the day,
that's not why we do this podcast, Dustin.
Well, that's true.
It's not like we're not moving the needle out there, I don't think, in sports talk.
I would like to see him play just as a Tech fan, but as a sports fan, I think it would be okay if he didn't play. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't play, I mean, if Tech comes back and says, all right, this is what the ruling was. We didn't know all of this, or we knew some of this and we weren't going to say anything when he came to Tech. This is what the rule lines out for us, and we're going to abide by the NCAA, and we're going to do this. What would that do? It would clear everything up.
But it wouldn't, because of that.
That's what I was about to say.
Okay, yeah.
That's what people think.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think that would just be like, all right, thank you, Tech, for doing the right thing. Let's go ahead and move forward with the season and go. I feel like there's been a precedent set now that the game has changed. I mean,
well, what do you mean by that?
Well, now you do something in regards to, I don't want to say illegal, but against the ruling of what the NCAA does. Well, let's get an attorney. Let's prolong this as long as possible.
Yeah.
As a university, let's spend the money we need to get the players, and then we'll deal with the ramifications after the season. If we've won enough and brought in enough money, enough revenue, bringing it in, we can eventually get through this at the end of the day. But on the front end, we're going to try to win now and see what kind of revenue and money we can bring into the university to help ramp up other things.
Yeah, but see, here's what I was thinking. Number one, and I don't know what the case Sorsby, I don't know how Sorsby won, right? Like, I don't know what convinced the judge to put a stay against this. I never saw that reported. But at this point, if Texas Tech goes and says, we're not going to play him, Sorsby's going to sue Texas Tech.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He'll turn around and say, defamation, lost wages, not only lost potential NIL wages at school, maybe, but it's going to impact my draft status. I mean, and they're going to lose that because that's true.
It's a no-win situation.
It's ridiculous now at this point. But when I first started seeing these stories about like, schools saying, we'll never play them again, I was like, yeah, we'll see what happens next year when the schedules are getting made, because it's bluster and you're posturing and you want to look like, we're not about that. But you know what? It's water, kind of like Wetzel said. I mean, nobody's going to stand up and say, well, you had 3 guys convicted of rape on your team. If you allow that, we're never playing you again. Right. Which frankly, that's a higher moral ground than you shouldn't have had your guy betting on the game. I mean, whatever. Right. And so but now, once they all started circling the wagons and trying to censure Texas Tech, who are just going, hey, it's the court. What do you want us to do? The court came back and said, now you're telling us to defy a court order and put us there. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. I can't believe it's gotten here, but here it is.
Right. It is crazy. And I get the moral high ground part on there's levels, right? Like you said. But at the same time, Tech, and this may be Homer of me, and I'm okay with that.
Fair enough.
Over the past 3 years, 4 years, the amount of money that Tech alumni have put in to the sports program, it wasn't a gradual thing to slowly bolster programs. It was a full-on push of money, all in, Vegas style. We are going to try to win now, right?
We're not going to get left behind. Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't just football. Now, last year, we brought in David Bailey, who was the number 2 pick in the draft. We brought in a lot.
We talked about softball. Texas Tech softball got all the way to the World Series finals. That girl from UCLA or wherever you pilfered her from, right? Yeah.
She was from Stanford. And then that was 2 years ago. And then last year we got the number 1 player from UCLA. So, yeah.
But it's all legal. That's the way it is.
Yes.
That's all the game now, right? Yeah.
But the Homer part of me is, well, this is just what we did now. And so Tech is getting this view as, well, it's just all the money that you're spending, blah, 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 blah. And I look at some of the other programs, especially in football. I look at Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, Michigan.
You've been doing it for decades. Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. Exactly. Because like you said, you get left behind. If you don't do it, you're going to
You will not be competitive, period.
No.
Yeah.
I mean.
And let's face it, the Big 12 is already in a world of hurt because there's talks between the Big 10 and the SEC about trying to start their own thing. And
ACC is going to be out of it too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's to your point, the NCAA as we know it is gone. And it's going to be gone. And
I think what it is that I think those schools are trying to figure out a way to get out of it now behind closed doors. It's not something that's going to be later on down the road. We'll talk about it. I think it's in the works to try to figure out how the college football is no longer going to be under the NCAA umbrella.
But the problem is it's still tied to the education system. Exactly. That's the thing, right? Like, and this is where over here, in the UK, there is no pretense of it being about education. There are no college sports. There's academies. All of your professional football teams and your rugby teams, they have sports academies, and they're paying kids as young as 12 and 13 and 15 years old to be in their academies, to be in their system, to train them up in their farm system. Yes. But in America, it's tied to amateurism, and it's tied to your education, and it's tied to college, and it's tied to something that isn't just, I mean, now you're talking federally, government supported, right? Government funded in part. I mean, it's a mess. And so that they can't just be like, all right, let's say the top 65 schools and create a new league, because it's still part of the collegiate system. And so what does that leave the NCAA to be, and who regulates it, right? And all these, I don't even know.
And for most colleges, what is your biggest revenue earnings?
It's your football team.
It's your football team. But what they're wanting to become, and I get it from a sports standpoint, is a farm league system.
Yeah. Ultimately. Well, I mean, it already is. I mean,
it is.
College sports already is.
Like to just call it as such.
Yeah.
Right. To basically say.
Well, but see, you can't do that because only like 10% are even in the farm system. Not even 10, right? Because the so few of them actually go on to the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball. So then you do have the majority of players are actually getting their scholarship and getting their education funded, and they won't go be professional athletes. But nobody really cares about them. I mean, is what it comes down to. Well,
and if you take it out of the educational aspect of it, which I don't foresee happening anytime soon, then you're losing those guys that are using it, that are good enough to play it, but using it as a means to, move on.
And the other thing, think about why college football and college sports in particular even matters in America. It's because it's associated with where all the lawyers and all the doctors and all the government officials and everybody, they went to school, and all the oil men in Texas who went to Texas Tech are like, I want to put it back into the school that made me who I am. And if they become just a minor league team, who's going to watch?
Right.
Who watches minor league hockey? Nobody. Who watches? Well, you know what I mean, right? Who watches minor league baseball? Who watches the MLS? Oh, wait, that's a professional organization. Right. But you see the point, right? They won't be the same thing if they're not tied to the universities. So I don't even know. I don't know what it is and what it turns into. But ladies and gentlemen, Texas Tech is at the center of it all. I did see a graph on like a map of the U.S. that had every state's most hated school, and Texas Tech was every.
No, there was one state that didn't have Tech.
Oh, was it?
It was Ohio. It was a Michigan symbol.
You're going to be hard pressed to. You're going to be hard pressed to make Ohio State care that much about Texas Tech that they hate them more than Michigan. But anyway, So all right, well, there's your D4 business. When Texas Tech suddenly, who knew, becomes the center of the sports world. And D4 Sports has you covered here on episode 95. Welcome back, episode 95 of D4 Sports Day Drinking with Don and Dustin. I'm still working on my 80% absinthe. I kind of have been filling up a little bit more of my gin and tonic with this. I think I can get the rest of it in here and make it palatable. But I don't know
if you can make 80% palatable, but
40 milliliters is all this is, and that's more than enough of that. But I didn't intend to take that whole last segment on tech. I had another question for you, and we'll get into this. It's an NFL question, and it's at this point it's hypothetical, but only sort of. Obviously we're in off season, just had OTAs and all this stuff. Training camp's getting ready to kick up here in about a month. I saw this story today. Baker Mayfield is in the last year of his 3-year, $100 million contract with Tampa Bay. He has said that the offer that Tampa Bay has put forward to him for an extension is nowhere close to what he wants and what he expects, right? Now, he's gone on and said, well, his agent said, well, we'll continue to negotiate, but if we get to the season, we won't talk till the end of the year. If Baker Mayfield plays through this whole year and does not get a contract extension, he is an unrestricted free agent in 2027. And my question to you is, who goes for him? Because this hasn't happened. This has not happened in a long time where a truly, because Baker's top 10 quarterback, close.
Yeah, close.
I mean,
he's in that bottom tier if he is. Yeah,
he's tier 2. Yeah. I mean, he's a legit starting quarterback. And I read an article about it. One guy was like, I would want him starting on my team every day of the week. Like, absolutely. You tell me I can have Baker Mayfield as my starting quarterback, I'm taking it. So I'm thinking to you, in your mind, what teams, should that happen, what teams go all in to get Baker Mayfield?
All in? I don't know. So obviously he's banking on himself, right? You become a unrestricted free agent, then you're hoping somebody is going to come out there with an offer. Because then
he knows he's going to get a good offer. That's not a big bet.
Get the one he's
no Sorsby.
True. Or Dennis Schroeder, who banked on himself and lost big time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm being honest, and I know they've already put a lot of money into their quarterback, but Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. They're on my list.
Minnesota is probably especially with the wide receivers that they have.
Yep.
You got Addison, Jefferson, Tay Felton, Hawkinson.
Who are just praying for anyone to get them the ball.
Please give me some, especially Jefferson.
Maybe Kyler Murray works out. Maybe Kyler Murray comes back and looks like he did a couple of years ago. The Vikings are a good one.
You've got Murray.
They're not my number one. They're not my number one team.
You gonna say Jets?
No, I mean, yes, I think the Jets are on there. I think they definitely would because they're back to Geno Smith. So whatever, right?
Cowboys.
Pittsburgh. Because Pittsburgh is going to be too good to get a high draft pick this year. And Aaron Rodgers is going to retire after this year. And they don't have anybody else in the pipeline. And I would bet my bottom dollar if Baker Mayfield goes on the open market, Pittsburgh goes all in to get. He's 31. He'll be 32 years old. He'll have at least the way quarterbacks play today, another 5-6 years in him. Honestly, he hasn't really had very many bad seasons, right? I mean, he took Cleveland to the playoffs, for goodness sakes.
Yeah,
right?
And the Browns are just the Browns, so you can't look at that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. If you can get that franchise to the playoffs,
But here's the question.
Yeah.
What makes Baker?
I mean, he's a good quarterback. I mean, he's gutsy. He's a gunslinger.
But he also will try to run through defenders to get a first down.
Fair enough.
So can you do that 29-32? Maybe. Can you do that 33-37? Not as easily.
Look, Favre did, and I'm not saying Mayfield is Favre, but Mayfield has got the guts of Matthew Stafford, and he's a big guy, Yeah. Sure.
Well, and that was another team I was going to say is the Rams, because Stafford.
Well, yeah, but they just drafted. They drafted a quarterback in the first round this year. So,
did they? Okay.
Yeah, they hadn't had a first round pick in 5 years, and they used it on a quarterback. So in my other teams, the Cardinals. I can't remember now. I can't remember his name, but
the Cardinals wouldn't be bad.
They don't have anybody. They got Jacoby Brissett. They don't have anybody.
Right. In regards to quarterbacks, I'm just trying to think of their wide receivers. You got Marvin Harrison, Trey.
It doesn't matter. They've got to get the quarter until they get a quarterback. It doesn't really matter, right? So the Saints would be a team.
You got Tyler Shuck, man.
He was serviceable for a rookie. If he takes a leap this year,
what the NFL is. You are banking on the hope of
No, not a quarterback. Not a quarterback. I disagree.
Okay.
And in this case, the Colts, unless Daniel Jones comes back and has a good year, I can see the Colts going for him. The Dolphins would make a play for Baker. I could see that working.
I could see the Dolphins.
And then I got a couple of interesting. Then I got who else they got? They got Daniel Jones. Anthony Richardson is not going to be an NFL star.
Riley Leonard.
Okay, maybe.
Saying.
Yeah. I mean, it all is going to depend on how this year goes. And like, again, if Tyler Schuff takes a leap forward and looks like he's going to be legit, okay, right? Couple other interesting ideas for you. How about the Ravens?
What about them?
The new regime didn't draft Lamar.
No.
And imagine what they could get if they traded Lamar.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there because you talk about a guy who, in my opinion, Lamar Jackson is poised as any quarterback to fall off a cliff because I don't see him maintaining his wheels for another 8 to 10 years. Right?
I think the Ravens, you almost have to implode it because Derek Henry's getting older. Mark Andrews is getting older.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson,
fair enough. I don't know. That was a thought. The Seahawks, how much do they really believe in Sam Darnold?
I don't know. And then they lost Kenneth Walker.
The Texans, CJ Stroud didn't come up clutch. The Raiders, we'll see what happens this year with Mendoza. The Panthers are in the same boat. How about the Niners? Purdy?
You don't think they stick with Purdy?
I do. But if Purdy struggles,
and this is all based
on
like you said, this is all based on how
this year goes. Of course it is. And how about the Jaguars? How about if Trevor Lawrence?
I don't know. Trevor Lawrence has had a pretty Yeah. I mean, he's better than some of the ones you've said.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I don't think losing Mike Evans is going to be a huge detriment to
not with Godwin and Egbuka.
Not with Godwin and Mbuka and Tez Johnson. I think Tez Johnson can have a good year as a wide receiver 3.
And with their backfield with Bucky Irving and Rashad White and Cade Otton, I don't know if they picked up anybody else to tight end. No, they're still in good shape. Yeah, Mike Evans is great, but at this point, Mike Evans is Keenan Allen, right? But
I will say, I think Mike Evans can help Brock Purdy in the sense that you have a good receiver coming in that can help.
He's not Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. There's a ton of other sports going on, so let's move on from the NFL. But I saw that story and I thought to myself, fascinating. There has not been a true top tier quarterback on the open market in a long time. Right? I mean, Kirk Cousins famously did, but by the time Cousins made his last move, he was not top 10, right?
Right.
So that will be fascinating if that doesn't happen. And maybe it could be as simple as Baker doesn't want to stay in Tampa. I don't know why he wouldn't, but maybe he doesn't, right? Who knows? So, all right, I want to ask you this question. World Cup, right? Obviously, World Cup's happening, and it's too early for us to focus a whole segment on it. We'll get into it more as it's going. USA looked great in game 1. What is the fervor like for the World Cup there? In your world?
It's big. I mean, people are going to pay attention to it. I mean, they're going to have matches at AT&T in Arlington.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know people that are going to go to the games, and it is somebody at Hunter, my son, asked me the other day, he said, Dad, what's the biggest sporting event in the world? And it took me a second, and I told him, in the world, I do believe it's the World Cup. And I told
it's not the number one in attendance, but it's in the top 5, I believe. Yeah,
but I told him it's because it's every 4 years.
Yeah,
and it includes the World Cup.
Right, Asia, Africa,
I said if
Europe,
it comes down to a yearly thing, and we're talking about America, it's a Super Bowl, hands down, not even in question.
Right. Yeah.
But in regards to what I thought it was. And so this being the World Cup, this is going to be watched. People are going to watch it. I mean, it brings in a lot of money. And I mean, you've got people coming from countries and getting an Airbnb and spending money at the bar. And
have you seen any of the have you seen Freddie
sporting events?
Freddie, the guy from Germany who's like become a sensation with his Twitter, with his road trip?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
No, it's anyway, keep going. Yeah.
But what is fun about sporting things, and you ask about the fervor and everything bringing it in. So when it came to March Madness, like going to a place, even if you're not going to go to a game, just to be around other people that are watching it is a blast. Mm-hmm. So I could see people coming over and just wanting to be a part of it, even if they're not going to games. And so it does bring up, people wanting to be a part of it and wanting to watch it. So it's,
I was just wondering, I mean, obviously it's a big deal here, right? I mean, it's every pub is advertising, showing World Cup games. My office, my team at work, we've all divided up teams, and we each have 3 teams or 4 teams, and we're having competitions this year. I mean, I haven't done that with anything else ever, the whole time I've been here. And so, yeah, it's,
I think the hard part is in regards to soccer, it's probably the sport most Americans know the least about.
Well, right. No, I get it. Yeah. And and that's exactly, I mean, everybody over here is like, do the Americans even care? And I'm like, one person I was speaking to actually said this, and it's not a particularly politically correct thing to say, but I said, what is the attitude like? And they said point blank, depends what ethnicity you are. If you're Mexican, you're really into it. If you're not, not so much.
Well, I think because
take it for what it is. That was one person's take on it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think because of our stance on soccer over the past 3 or 4 years, this World Cup is different to me.
Oh, sure. Because we've actually paid attention to it. It's a sport we actually follow. But like,
and I can sit here and go, oh, I know who that is. Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah. Well, that's because on the American team, you know how many American starters play in the MLS on this in game 1?
I'm going to say 2.
Two defensemen. Everybody else plays around the world. I thought that was
right. Well, and there's more money when you're going elsewhere. I mean,
true. Fair enough. Yeah.
But I mean, I think for us, this World Cup plays a little bit different just because we actually know something now.
Right. True. All right. I was going to go back and listen to the beginning of our conversation about the NBA Finals and what you said last week, because when I said the Knicks, I believe your response was the Knicks.
You're right. No, I will.
Which I agreed with you on. But what do you think? Here's my favorite line, my favorite moment of the whole thing. After game 4, right, where they made the 29-point comeback, they had somebody put up the post online with a picture of Jerry Seinfeld and, the guy who was the writer with him, old blonde guy, Larry David. And they, one of the most famous scenes in Seinfeld is when Seinfeld is in a rental car place and they don't have his car. And they said, we know about the reservation. He goes, you know how to take the reservation, but you don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's the most important part. And somebody put it in the meme and it said, the Spurs know how to take the lead, but they don't know how to hold the lead. And that's the most important part. And I thought that was hysterical. That was gold, right? But
the Spurs have
it's 100% true
lead in every game.
Yeah.
I will say, Jalen Brunson put on a performance this finals.
Yeah.
That is
one for the ages.
Hasn't been seen in a while.
Yeah. But I mean, are you surprised? I mean, I know you didn't really think the Knicks had much of a chance.
I didn't.
Yeah.
But I did say at one point, maybe the Spurs are just too young to understand the moment. And I said, they haven't been there before. And then I backtracked and I said, okay, well, neither have the Knicks. Right. And so, but I think that they played harder. Even shots were going up 4 of the Knicks would go and crash for offensive rebounds, there wasn't any blocking out. They were getting rebounds like crazy. They played harder. They played better. When their backs were against the wall and they were down, they just
29 points. Yeah.
Yeah. And does it take a little bit of luck? I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
But things got to go the right way.
Right?
Yeah. So what does this say about the Spurs? I mean, it's one thing to say you're young, but no, first off, after game 4, when they blew a 29-point lead, it was over. There's no coming back from that. I don't think.
No.
Momentum wise. But before that, like to your point, they had a double-digit lead in every game. I mean, is it just youth? Is it lack of character? Is it lack of leadership? Is it not enough fight for it? I mean, what is it?
Last night,
because you shouldn't do that every game. You know what I mean?
No. And last night was absolutely, they just couldn't hit shots. I mean, the Spurs couldn't hit shots. The open shots that they have hit before. So I do think the majority of this was youth.
But lasting effect, do you see it? Or do you see the Spurs rebounding next year and coming back?
They're already the favorites.
Over the Thunder, you think? I mean, I know they beat the Thunder this year, but...
Last night after the finals, they said the early odds-on favorite for next year is the Spurs.
All right. Fair enough. Guess we'll see. All right. Well, so that brings the NBA season to a close. The hockey season is wrapping up. Carolina leads the Golden Knights, Vegas Golden Knights 3-2. Have you seen any of the series or followed it at all?
Nope.
It has been I haven't watched it, but I've gone back and I've watched the highlights. Crazy series, crazy hockey, big comebacks, a lot of offense, a lot of goals. 2 games have gone to double overtime. I mean, this has been everything you want in a Stanley Cup Finals. They have delivered. So we'll see. I have a feeling Carolina is going to close it out, but you never know. They have a 3-2 lead, but it has really been something to behold. So we'll go quickly from there. And then we'll jump in. I got a bunch of stuff on baseball. Obviously, we don't have a whole lot of time left. I want to say, well, boy, there's so many things. Here's what I want to focus on. As we've talked about the parity, the teams have started to spread out a little bit. But one of the things that's most fascinating to me, I checked this today. So I fairly arbitrary, but you've got, I think, 5 teams with 40 or more wins. So basically 38 wins or above puts you in the top, right? You're in playoff position at this point. Currently, 3 of the top 4 spending teams have 38 or more wins. So 3 of the top 4 highest spending teams are in the top tier. And 3 of the bottom 4 spending teams have 38 or more wins. So that's out of the 30 baseball teams, you're taking out the top 4 and the bottom 4, leaving you, what's my math, 16. Only 2 other teams have 38 or more. So all of the middle is toward the bottom of the league. The bottom few are great. The top few are great. Everybody else is.
Do you know who is 1 win away from 38 wins?
I think the Cardinals already have 38. So
Cardinals are 38 and 30.
Yeah. Okay. The White Sox.
The White Sox.
I know. They're like 37 and 31. I'm like
leading their division.
I'm kind of like rooting for them all of a sudden. I'm like, come on, Chicago. If they could just drag the Rockies along with them, that would be great. Unquestionably,
bottom feeder somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Unquestionably, the story so far, certainly of this week in baseball, was Misierowski for Milwaukee. And I had this note before the game. So this week, his last outing, he throws 95 pitches, 1 hit shutout, 15 walks, 15 strikeouts, no walks.
15 strikeouts.
Yeah. Still throwing 104 miles an hour in the 9th inning. And the only hit that they got was in the 4th inning, and he was doubled off. So he faced the minimum, 27 batters. And look, it's impressive. It's incredibly impressive, right? He is throwing harder, but he reminds you of the young Randy Johnson, the young Roger Clemens, the young Nolan Ryan, all these flamethrowers. The question is, like anything else, and with modern baseball, can he keep it up, right? How many seasons can he do this? And as hard as he is throwing, at what point does his right arm just snap in half?
How long did the three players you mentioned play?
Yeah, but all three of those guys they're not throwing the way he is. And we don't need to get into all the mechanics of it. But Randy Johnson was 6'9", so he just had the leverage and the stride and could just do it, right? Way different than most other pitchers. Clemens and Nolan Ryan were both big power pitchers who coiled deep. Misierowski is a little spindly guy who's out there whipping stuff around. So
he's 6'7".
Okay. So maybe he'll be Randy Johnson part 2. Maybe he will. There's only one Randy Johnson so far, right? And
that I will give you. That who can hit a bird in flight? That's impressive.
Well, anyway, yeah.
But here's I don't disagree with you on what you're thinking, but it's kind of fun to watch. It is. I'm
moving. I am not in any way disagreeing. It was phenomenal. That was a phenomenal game. That was arguably one of the best games pitched in the last 10 years. I'm not taking anything away from him. It's just really hard to get excited about a pitcher in baseball right now. Because part of me wonders, had he not been quite that efficient, had he gotten to 95 pitches or 92 pitches in the 7th inning, would they have even let him go out and finish the game?
Right.
I'd like to think they would, but he didn't have a no-hitter going, and I don't know. And, the thing is, Randy Johnson had the opportunity to do that and went out and threw 6 and 7 complete games a season, if not more, right?
Right.
Randy Johnson took the ball, and he was going to stay on the mound until they pried it out of him. And now Misierowski's basically has to pitch that game in order to get a complete game.
Yeah. But I don't know. I may disagree slightly on it's fun or not fun you can't get behind a pitcher right now. And I understand it from the standpoint that you're throwing 6. I looked at the Cardinals box score from last night and it was like 0.2 inning, and then you put your closer in for an inning, right? And the score was 9-6. So I get that. But I still think there are those guys. I was going to do this for last call, but I'll just do it now for Paul Skeens, right? Do you know his 64 career starts? Do you know what his ERA is?
It's good. I don't know what the number is. It's probably 2 something, right?
So Oral Hershiser through 64 starts was a 2.09, third all time.
Okay.
Dwight Gooden, 2.04.
Yep.
Skeens is at 1.97.
Nice.
Now, I will say innings pitched in those 64 career starts. Paul Skeens, 370. Dwight Gooden, 476. So 106 more innings.
Yeah.
But he's got 442 strikeouts. Clemens, 417. And 81 walks through those 64 starts. But what's crazy is, do you know what his ERA was after the first game of the season this year?
It was like 7,000 or something because they only got one out, right?
67.5.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a rough first game.
To 1.98.
Yeah. No, look, again, Skeens is great. There are some great young arms. Don't get me wrong. I just, again, to your point, it's 5 innings a night. It's 6 innings a night. I don't have the exact number yet. I know, until Misierowski, there were only 7 complete games so far this season. No one has even 2. And we're 70 games into the season. We're 45% of the way into the season. Nobody has 2 complete games, right? And again, is that the only measure of pitching greatness? No. But the era of the workhorse and the guy, all the guys we name, all of the people we name, we compare him to. The Clemenses, the Hershiser threw, 58 straight scoreless innings to end the season with the Dodgers. He threw 9, 6 straight complete game shutouts, and they left him out there, right? It just wouldn't happen anymore. The guys, and Randy Johnson even said it about Skeens. He's going to have to tell management, I'm staying in the game. You're not taking the ball away from me at 100 pitches. And so far, he hasn't done it. I mean, he's great. I'm not taking anything. Yeah, there's some tremendous young athletes and pitchers. I wonder, A, how long their careers are going to be with as much torque as they put on their arm when they're throwing as hard as they are. And B, are we ever going to have workhorse pitchers again? Or are we going to continue to see, a 2-0 game with 6 pitchers where, the starter goes 5 and everybody goes 1, 1, 1, 2/3 and a third. And you're like, oh, what are we even doing?
And, and mindsets have changed. So for managers and I think for some players, now you have the players that are like, leave me in the game. Like, I want to do this. Like Randy Johnson saying, Skeens is going to have to step in and say that for the competitive players. And I'm not saying that athletes aren't competitive anymore. I'm not saying that.
Right.
The mindset is some of them could have the Chase Daniel mindset. Like, I am getting this amount of money and I only have to go throw 85 pitches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact is you're going to have all of these guys who are great. They're going to have $500 million in 10 years of playing.
And they know that.
Why are they going to play 20 years?
So I think I'm not taking away the competitiveness of these players, but I do think that is a part of.
Oh, 100%. The money absolutely changes it. Absolutely does. All right. We're at 27 minutes on this segment. We gotta call it Sports Roundup, episode 95 of D4 Sports. Bartender is looking for one, and I'll throw a quick one out, and then I'll throw it over to you. Man of the People alert, Paxton Lynch. Remember Paxton Lynch?
I remember the
quarterback from Memphis, drafted in the first round of the NFL. Paxton Lynch has now been benched in every professional football league.
I saw that. Yes.
He was benched in the NFL. He was benched in the Canadian Football League. He was benched in the XFL and the USFL, and most recently, he didn't get benched, but he got hurt and is out for the season in the Arena League. So, man of the people, Paxton Lynch. Sorry, buddy. What do you got for me?
I know people will be listening to this later, but as of just a few minutes ago, Lewis Hamilton has won the Formula One race. Oldest racer to do so, 19th season.
Nice.
So that information came from Holly. So thank you for the text.
Nice.
I appreciate it.
Very nice.
Her son is a big Formula One guy, and
Lewis Hamilton.
He will get up early and watch the races. I mean, he is
as will my son. Yeah, F1. Absolutely.
Yes, Sam will do the same thing.
Yep.
So we're sitting here. And we talked new sports, and I told you I had the TV on and a bunch of different random stuff.
Yeah.
They took it to
another
level.
Still going on?
There's a new one. There's a new sport. It is pickleball, sand volleyball. They're playing it on a sand volleyball court with the net the height of a volleyball court or a volleyball net, but it's pickleball. And there are no lines. So it's just, I don't know.
All right. Are they playing it with a beach ball, or what are they playing with?
No, it's the pickleball paddle and the ball. Like they're hitting it up.
Oh, so they're not letting it bounce, obviously, then.
No bouncing.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, okay. All right. I was trying to picture a ball bouncing off the sand. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's not bouncing. It's just keeping it up in the air. But I don't know. Next thing you'll have pickleball football. Just taking somebody
is what
out.
We did as kids. How many can we get in a row without it hitting the ground?
Yeah. Like we would play, what was it called? I don't know. Nukem, where you have the volleyball and you have teams and it's like, you got to catch it. You can't let it hit the ground. Yeah. Man, there's soccer, volleyball. Have you seen the soccer volleyball?
I have, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Just we could come up with a sport, I think.
Maybe we should.
I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, I don't either. Would have to involve drinking beer.
I don't know. No, that sounds awful. The D4 mile run. That sounds awful.
Oh yeah. That's already done. We could do something. I got two more. You got anything else? Go for it. All right. So there were the Cardinals announcer in one game. A guy hit a home run, and the Cardinals announcer says, "A man, a plan, a canal, Panama." The guy who's batting was from Panama. That sentence is a palindrome. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama is a palindrome. And you talk about putting that in the long list of things an announcer was sitting on until the right time.
That's what I was just about to say. He had it written out.
Oh, he did. Absolutely.
And when it happened, he was like, "Oh, finally."
Yeah. And good for him. I mean, the bottom line is Weird Al with his song Bob has destroyed palindromes for everybody, because I don't know if you ever heard that. If you haven't ever seen Bob, go watch it. My favorite one might be an Uzi rat in a sanitary zoo, which is a palindrome, yes. along with other ones. But that was well done by the Cardinals announcer. But I want to finish with darts. And so Luke Littler won the Premier League Darts Championship in a really dramatic game against the other Luke. I've forgotten his name now. Who was like, one of the other greats. Anyway, very exciting finish. Littler wins again. And I was going to go to that. That was the one at the O2. And that was the one Mark and I were planning to go to. Ended up not. But I saw something a couple weeks ago about darts in the 80s. Darts in the 80s is about as D4 as it gets. Like, they were drinking pints during the matches. Yeah. And they were, some of the matches paid players in cigarettes. Not even kidding. But it gets better. There were some real characters. Okay, some real characters. One guy, Cliff Lazarenko, was, the video says, the biggest drinker on tour. And that tells you something when you're talking about some of these stories you're going to hear. But at one point, after a win, he filled a bathtub with 28 liters of wine and then dove into it. And then on another occasion, he convinced a guy named Eric Bristow, who was another guy on tour, to go with him on a multi-day bender. And they started in London and ended in Canada. You've got an intercontinental bender. And that is shockingly impressive. But maybe the best story, well, there's two other ones. Bobby George, who was another guy in the 80s, one time missed a match and was out of the tournament because he was, in the words of this video, shagging a groupie on the lawn of the hotel. So there's that. And not to be outdone, and this is a little later, this is 2004, but Andy Fordham drank 24 beers before the championship match and won it.
The John Daly of darts.
Yes, they're pretty much.
I think the thing that worries me about all of that is groupie of 80s dart player.
Hey, darts is a big deal in some parts of the world. It's a big deal over here.
All right.
I mean, it's no World Cup.
Yeah, I think it was on this same channel yesterday. They had darts.
You need more to do if you're watching this channel on multiple days. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I was cleaning, so I have something on the TV.
Fair enough.
But it was really annoying. It wasn't, I think it was American darts. It wasn't European. So it was like the electronic. Oh. So they're throwing it and it goes doo-doo-doo-doo, and like the number counts down for you. And I'm going, this is terrible. I need the guy at the front going.
That's right. Calling out the score.
20 that does the math for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was bad. I was like, why even put this one on? Because it just has the counter in a separate camera. And it wasn't the same.
Almost as good as the USA's chance at the World Cup.
Yeah. I'm picking the Netherlands. Just throwing that out there. Yeah. Well, I heard something the other day that there was a guy for the past 4 World Cups that had an algorithm and chose the winner all 4 years. And he chose the Netherlands this year. So that's the only reason.
Yeah.
But they've got Japan today, and Japan is good.
As much as I have learned about, international football, I still don't really have any idea who's going to win. At work, I took the USA because they're in my group, and I said, we'll probably rig it anyway. And, if we don't, we'll just deport the other team. So, and with that,
I may Sorsby it and put a bet on it. Who knows?
Whoa!
That's what I'm going to start calling it, doing the Sorsby.
Doing a Sorsby. Let's go full Sorsby. Thank you, good listeners, if you have stuck with us this far on episode 95. They're probably putting an injunction on us, so we can keep doing this. We may need one. So
probably. Still
but
to 100.
Yeah, hey, look, 95. That's
why stop now.
I'm proud 95. And with that, I say, D4 out.